Hello and welcome to Nintendo World Report's coverage of the Xenoblade Nintendo Direct for Tuesday, November 7th. I'm your host, John Rairdin. We're going to be watching the Nintendo Direct covering Xenoblade 2. It's going to start up here in about half an hour, but I thought we'd come on a little bit early. We can chat, we can make predictions, we can just sort of enjoy the morning together, or whatever time it is, wherever you live. I'm not sure if there's anyone here yet. I'm assuming not really. That is correct. Nobody here yet, so we're just kind of hanging out, waiting for this thing to get started, which, like I said, will be in about half an hour. Once it does, we will switch to a view like this, so you won't have to worry about listening to me talk over the Direct. I always hate it when people do reaction videos and talk over the actual thing, so what I will do is I will just get it started. I will then back out, and you'll be able to enjoy it on your own. And then I will come back after the Direct is over, and I will talk to you again. So once again, because I see we just started to have some people show up, once the Direct actually starts, we'll switch to a view like this. I'll shut up. You can enjoy the Direct just as normal, and then after the Direct, I will come back, and we will discuss what we just saw. So yeah, hello people in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. I think for most of you, it should be prime morning, yeah. Oh, there's Adam Abu Nasser from our own staff. He's watching our stream. Hi, Adam. Hello, Super Mario 2K. Hello, Fabrizio Danilo. Hello, Hashim Erli. Ooh, you guys have some names going on here. I don't know if I can keep up with all of them. But yes, welcome. Like I said, we're going to be watching the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Direct. What do you guys think we'll be seeing today? I am kind of expecting... they've shown us a bit. We know kind of the basic plot of the game. We've seen a lot of, like, one of the Titans, the really grassy one. I can't think of what it's called right now. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if today we kind of go in-depth to a different Titan. We've gone a little bit into the combat system, but I could definitely see them spending some more time on that. It'll be interesting to see what we get. Of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X had a bunch of sort of supplementary features, and I don't feel like we've gotten into the equivalent features in Chronicles 2 that we had in that yet. Like in Xenoblade Chronicles X, you had like the whole like side mission system, the mining system, investing in different companies, like all of this stuff in that game. Like, it was a very complex and full kind of world in that game. And we haven't really seen what kind of stuff they'll be doing for that in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so it's possible we could see some of that as well. Yes, Blade reveals is certainly a thing we will probably see. Any online mode in this game? Possibly. Xenoblade Chronicles X kind of had online. Like, nobody ever talked about it, and most of it was in the post-game. But there was an area you could go in the Blade HQ where you could essentially sign up for, like, Monster Hunter style online, and like nobody ever talked about it, but you can totally play Xenoblade Chronicles X online. It's not like a full co-op through the campaign, but it's like certain little missions you can do online with other players. So if they do online for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I really hope that that we'll get something a bit more fleshed out than what we had in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles X was a good start to that, but definitely wasn't where it needed to be. Ottoman of Monado Hell says, I really, really like this beard. Thank you. Only Blade reveals. This game is actually only Blade. That's all Adam wants, all Adam needs, all Adam ever asked for in life is just an abundance of Blade reveals. I mean, if that's all you need. You don't even need to buy the actual game. You can just watch the Nintendo Direct coverage. Alright. But yes, welcome to anyone still showing up. Like I said, I'll shut up during the actual stream, and then we'll have more conversation afterwards. But yeah, for the people who aren't here, let me just get comfortable here. Did any of you finish Xenoblade X or the original Xenoblade? Their stream just switched over to showing like the actual like video as opposed to just their placeholder. It probably looks about the same to you guys, but it's, you know, correctly formatted for the screen now. So, it's exciting. We are 25 minutes out. There are 1,232 people watching Nintendo's stream right now and 15 watching mine, but I'm catching up, Nintendo. You watch yourself. I'm almost there. But yeah, so did anybody actually, because Xenoblade is a game that I think has very quickly become sort of a favorite new IP for Nintendo. So yeah, who's actually finished both of them? Ottoman of Minato Hell has finished both. Good, because they're awesome. If you've never played the Xenoblade games before, I highly recommend it. If you have a Wii U, you can actually get both of them on there. You can get the original digitally, and then of course you can get Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, which one of those of you who have played both, which one do you prefer? Because I go back and forth. I think I might like X better. I know people say it doesn't have as good of a plot. I really liked the plot, and I just thought the world was awesome. But I still love the original Xenoblade. I think I like the world of X a little bit better. Alright. I gotta try to remember not to move my mouse over the video screen, because I don't think you can see my mouse, but I think I can make like the scrub bar up here, and that's probably distracting for you guys. Xenoblade Chronicles best story. Yeah, it is. I mean, you can, and I know this from experience because my wife did this, you can just sit and watch all of the cutscenes from the original Xenoblade, and it makes a pretty darn good movie. Like, you can just sit and it's like 11 hours long or something crazy like that, which is still much shorter than like the 90 hours or whatever that game is. It'll also be interesting to see how long this one is, because Xenoblade Chronicles, the original one, was like, what, 80 to 90 hours? Xenoblade Chronicles X took me personally about 140, 150 hours. That wasn't exactly a speed run, but then neither was the original Xenoblade, so it's just kind of, that was like my casual playthrough time. So it'll be interesting to see how long this one goes, because since it is more story-driven, I would think it would be shorter. Because I think, you know, if you're trying to maintain good story momentum, it might wind up being shorter than X. Xenoblade Chronicles best story, Xenoblade Chronicles X best gameplay. That's fair. Take this! That's what Ottoman of Minato Hell says. Well, technically it's what Shulk says, but also Ottoman of Minato Hell. Do you guys... Obviously, this one is called Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as opposed to just having a random letter after it. X obviously had nothing really to do with the original Xenoblade, outside of a few references, and of course the presence of Napon, which are just everywhere. In every reality, there are Napon. Do you guys expect, because this one is a 2, do you expect any greater reference to the original Xenoblade? Because those of you who have beat it, we'll try to avoid spoilers here, but for those of you who have beat it, looking at Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't really see how it would relate to the first one. I guess maybe it could come after. It does, I mean, it does put one in mind of the beginning. Just, I mean, because the first Xenoblade started with these two titans fighting in the middle of, you know, a cloud sea, right? But if you've gotten to the end of Xenoblade Chronicles, then you know what those titans were. I'm trying to do this without spoiling anything. And so I don't think it could really be connected in much more than name. It's just interesting that they straight up decided to call this one 2. I do hope we get a Xenoblade Chronicles X 2, because for those of you who beat that, it does kind of feel like they set up for a sequel. And it's not spoiling too much to say, like, there are other, like, the New LA arc isn't the only one, the White Whale isn't the only one that escaped from Earth, and there are other ones, and we should go find out what happened to them. Like, there is a huge potential for a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X, much more so than there was to the original Xenoblade. So I do hope they go back and revisit that at some point. They confirmed Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is unlinked, but it will probably allow for in-depth fan theory like Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Yeah, I don't I don't even try to link those two. I mean, it's just, they don't, the origin story for one, if you've beat them both, I don't really see how you could possibly link those two together, just knowing kind of the backstory of each world. Yeah, I don't think those two are linked. Yeah, and this game is, at this point, less than a month out, which is awesome. I'm sure, like many people, was totally convinced this game was going to be delayed. I thought there's no way this game is actually coming out in 2017. But it did, and which I think continues to make this probably one of the greatest launch years for any system ever. I mean, I'm trying to think of like other launch years for systems that had this kind of quality to them. I mean, a year where you, I mean, obviously Xenoblade is not as big to as many people as Mario and Zelda is, but to me, this is absolutely, like, this is the big, I'm more excited for this than I was for Mario. I like Mario, and Mario Odyssey is a great game, but I'm more excited for this game than I was for Mario, and I think there are some other people like me, and I think that, you know, if you were into Zelda and you've never played the Xenoblade games, you want more giant open worlds on the go, this is an awesome game to have. I wouldn't mind, I know I'm sure we're going to get plenty of Wii U remakes, but I would be totally fine if they plopped Xenoblade X on the Switch as well, just because it does run in the same engine. It seems like it would be relatively simple to bring over, and I would definitely take that excuse to play through that game again. I'd also take an HD remaster of the first one. Also, welcome Tyler McIntosh to the stream. We will be starting up, I guess we're just about 18 minutes out. Nintendo's stream is now up to almost 4,000 people. My stream is at 16, so we are growing. It is, you know, we're progressing. We are going to be catching up with Nintendo here shortly in terms of raw numbers. Let's see. Avoiding spoilers, the Sumerians mentioned often in Xenoblade Chronicles X resemble Homs, and one of the rare Kuldros collectibles is the Book of Destruction and Rebirth, which you'll recognize from Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, that stuff sounds more like homages than a canonical link. It's sort of like, you know, the Final Fantasy games operate in different worlds. They use the same themes and the same name, and elements, you know, certain enemies and chocobos and names and things like that. But they are not, they're all just games taken from like the same thematic elements. And I think that's what Xenoblade is. I mean, if you look back at the Xeno series, and we've talked about this before in other videos here, the Xeno series and the Final Fantasy series were at one point the same series. Xenogears was the original plot for Final Fantasy VII. And so they kind of branch off and have very similar ways of thinking. I think trying to link Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X, you might as well try to link it to Xenogears and Xenosaga as well. You'll recognize thematic elements throughout all of them. Even things like the shape of the life hold in Xenoblade Chronicles X, the shape of Pyra's green jewel thing in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is also the monolith thing from Xenosaga. So you see these repeated motifs throughout all of them, but those, I think, are more just references and ways to kind of link the series beyond name, but are not story links. But who knows what we might see. I mean, this is a numbered sequel. You never know what they might pull out of their hats. It could happen. It could totally happen. I do think Xenoblade Chronicles X could totally get a numbered sequel that actually has to do with it, because that one legitimately does kind of set up for a sequel. The original Xenoblade Chronicles does not set up for a sequel. That ties up its ending in a nice bow and says, have a great day. So I don't really see that one needing a sequel or having any way to produce a sequel. Because everything is fine. Yes, I know it's just, yeah, it's just fan theory, of course. They're at 5,000. Oh, we went back down to 15. Guys, you gotta... Oh, we went back up to 16. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, we'll be starting here in about 15 minutes. Feel free to share this stream so that your friends can watch along with you, or your enemies. Just, you know, bring us all together in the name of Xenoblade, and we'll watch this direct together. Like I said, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, once the actual direct starts, I will switch to a screen that looks like this. I will stop talking, and you'll be able to enjoy the stream without an annoying YouTuber talking in your ear, because I always hate that style of reaction videos. So, it will proceed, and you can watch it, and then I will come back afterwards and rejoin you, and we'll discuss it. And so that's the plan. And but feel free to be commenting during it, because I'll be reading the comments, and I'll be looking back through them afterwards for kind of like discussion topics, and we'll just kind of hang out for a little while afterwards. And then once things chill out, I'll say goodbye, and you can go about your day dreaming of the wonders of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Okay. Soham Pai is really feeling it. Really feeling it. I hope, you know, I guess you can't make your own character in this one. I was gonna say one of the things I liked about Xenoblade Chronicles X, and something I absolutely did, is that as a male character you could have Shulk's voice, and as a female character you could have, what's her name? What's the girl from... Well, brain fart, but the main girl from Xenoblade Chronicles Xenoblade Chronicles, you could have their voice actors, which was great. So in Xenoblade Chronicles X, I used the voice actor for Shulk for my character. So he was randomly British on a ship theoretically full of Americans. But it was okay, because it was awesome. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll get some of those same voice actors, of course, but it'd be cool to get... Ultimately, this is all going to... I want Rhine to somehow show up in this game. I want Rhine time to occur. I want the bells of Rhine time to ring. Fiora, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Fiora was the other character whose voice actor you could have in Xenoblade Chronicles X. But yes, I guess it can't happen because you can't make your own character. Okay, so for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, no. Xenoblade Chronicles X2, I want to be able to make my own character, and I want Rhine to be a selectable voice option. Complete with Rhine-style quippery, so Rhine time and things of that nature. Make it happen, Monolith. Make it happen. In the Seaside Kingdom, where is Timer Challenge 1? I don't know. Are they numbered? Because there's one out by, like, the main... There's one out by, like, the jug, what'd you call it? The container that all the fountains shoot at. There's one out there. There's at least one underwater over on, like, the far side of the map. Like, on the end that you start at, but out in the water. Like, underwater, there's, like, a grate. And then, but it's not a timer challenge, actually. That's just, like, a door that you open, I think. I don't know. I've heard Rhine was a more serious, less joking character in the Japanese dub. Well, then. The Japanese dub did it wrong. And the American dub was absolutely right. Because Rhine is, I think, a benchmark in video game characterization. So maybe they should redub the original Xenoblade Chronicles to correct Rhine in the Japanese version. I think that is a fair and reasonable thing to do. Something that we should absolutely make sure happens in the near future. I really hope we get a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I do too. I would enjoy that. Like I said, I love that game. That's probably the Wii U game that I've put the most time into. I can't imagine any other one coming close to that amount of time. I mean, I've played a lot of Wii U games, and I've spent a lot of time on a lot of them, but I don't think anything could compare with Xenoblade Chronicles X for playtime. So yes, but I would play through it again. I would take any opportunity to play through that game again. So yeah, I would agree. I would like to have it again. Please. It'd be a good. That'd be a good one for like next year when like, you know, they've obviously used up a lot of their big IPs this year. If they need some filler for next year, which I can't imagine they won't, Xenoblade Chronicles X port would be a nice, just kind of like filler title. Obviously, the Wii U didn't sell great. If Xenoblade Chronicles 2 does well, I could see Xenoblade Chronicles X being a cool way to get people who skipped the Wii U to be able to play that game, because it's obvious. I'm sure they spent a lot of money on that game. It's a huge, expansive, amazing game. I mean, we did a video on it. When I say huge, I mean it's one of the largest games ever made. And I'm sure they would like to make more money off of it. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if it gets a port. Hey John, can you say Aaron is a dang hecker? I hope that made you happy. I hope that brought joy to your heart. I hope now you go about the rest of your day feeling fulfilled and satisfied with where your life is at, personally. Let's see. We are 9 minutes out. We're so close. We're so very, very close. So now, like, if you need to go to the bathroom, now would be a time that should maybe happen. If you need a beverage, if you need, like, some breakfast, it is early for a lot of us. Well, it's early for those of us in America. It's 7:52 a.m. for me, which is early for me. I am not a morning person. I am a stay-up-late kind of person. In fact, I stayed up late last night, despite having to get up early for this. But I had games to play. And I wanted to play them. There was a review copy came in that I was excited about, and I did not go to sleep for a while. But yes, we are 8 minutes away. Be sure to, if you haven't, I mean, obviously, if you're hanging around here to watch the stream, great. If you're going over to Nintendo's stream, cool. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can find your way back here after the stream. 7:52 standard Rhine time, yes. So, Rhine time is Central time, then. I mean, I'm fine with that. I absolutely accept my time zone being Rhine time. The time by which all other times are judged. I'm totally okay with that. I support it 100%. Please do continue. But yes, 7:53 standard Rhine time. 17 viewers. Hey, good job. We got a couple more. 18 viewers. Oh, my, it's going crazy. Sonic Forces? It's, oh, no. No. If they gave me the review copy of Sonic Forces, that would be a bad choice. You do not want me reviewing your Sonic games. It would be a very, very critical review. Midwest for life. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But no, not Sonic Forces, which you should be very thankful for. And if you're not familiar with why, if you type in Sonic Sucks into your YouTube search bar, you might see a familiar face. Opinion on Isabelle from Animal Crossing? I think she's a hard-working young woman dog who probably doesn't really get the respect she deserves. If we're not talking about that Isabelle, then I don't know. That's the only Isabelle that immediately pops to my mind, is Isabelle from Animal Crossing. So hopefully there's not something much more important called Isabelle that I am forgetting about. But we'll assume we're talking about Animal Crossing, because that seems reasonable. That seems like the most relevant topic to the Xenoblade Chronicles Direct. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Direct. And once again, for those... Okay, you agree. Okay, so apparently that was the right Isabelle. Good. Good. Once again, for those of you who weren't here, once the stream starts, which should be in about 5 minutes, I'll switch to this view. I will stop talking, and you can just enjoy the stream regularly, because I hate when people talk during live streams, or during Nintendo Directs. And then I will come back at the end, and we will discuss, so leave comments as we go in the comments section, because I will look back through those for insight onto what we should talk about during the post-direct wrap-up discussion segment, which is the official name for it. I just laughed like a weasel. Hard-working woman dog. That should be on a bumper sticker. I think that's, you know... Well, I mean, I didn't want to just say... I mean, there are other terms for a female dog, but that seems disrespectful to Isabel, so I didn't go that way. We just went with hard-working woman dog. That seemed like the most respectful way to say it, because she's a hard-working woman dog, and she deserves respect. And I'll thank you not to forget it. Alright, we are 4 minutes... Man, the final... the final 10 minutes is killer. I am just eagerly looking back over at the screen to make sure that everything's ready, which it is. And we'll be getting started here very, very soon. So last chance to make any clever comments, Adam Abunasser, in the chat section, before we return to the Nintendo view, which is what we're calling this view, and we stop talking for a little bit. I predict that we will get another hint of questionable Rex voice acting and or some Nia love. There's always been some questionable voice acting in Xenoblade. It's always hit and miss. Some of the characters are really, really good, and some of them are not always that great. But that's okay. At least they all still have accents. At least we haven't gone to... that was something I missed in Xenoblade Chronicles X, was the rampant Britishness of the original Xenoblade Chronicles, which was like my favorite part. It would be cool if the Shulk amiibo gives you a Minato. I'm sure it'll do something. I'm guessing that's actually something we'll probably see today, is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 amiibos. That, I would bet on that. I still can't find the timer challenge. Well, you know what, Adam? I need you to concentrate on what we're talking about here, okay? Settle down, buddy. Settle down. Someone who got automatically flagged as spam would like you to subscribe to them. They said their name is just the name of a graphics card. That's not a very good name. I'll go ahead and just remove that spam comment. Okay. I just find Rex as not being immersed in the acting. Maybe he's getting into it. Maybe those were like the first takes, and they went ahead and used those for the trailers, and he'll work into it. Maybe he's a robot. I predict we'll get to see the full cast. Which a lot of that would be Blades, and Adam did say Blade reveals. So, you know, Adam could be right. I just hope we unlock the secrets of the Minako. The Minacho? They should have a brand of chips that is Xenoblade branded called Monachos. Nope, it's too late. You can't go back. It's Monachos all the way. 2 minutes out. We got to be almost 1 minute out, because it's okay. 1 minute out. Monaco, Spain is a wonderful place. Do they have Monachos? I feel like you guys are ignoring the Monacho comment, and I feel like it's not getting the respect it deserves. Boy, I'm waiting for it to switch. I have my hand on the transition button, at which point I will shut up. Should be any time now. Xenoblade Warriors uniting Shulk, Alma, and Rex. I would play Xenoblade Warriors. Totally. And especially if it, like, was cross-dimensional, you know? So it had X and the original, and we can throw in X2. Somehow throw in, like, some Xenosaga stuff and Xenogears just for kicks and giggles. Just Xeno Warriors. Oh, that would be awesome. I'd be totally down for that. Hands off Monachos. Yes. Yes, now you're getting it. Now you're catching on to the genius of the Monachos. Right. It is 8 o'clock. They should be starting any second now. I'll watch. Okay, here it goes. Goodbye. I'll see you afterwards.
In the world of all rest, awash in the great cloud sea, legend has it that the towering world tree conceals the fabled paradise Elysium. One day the people of Elysium were cast out, and so the architect sent them his loyal servants, the colossal living lands known as Titans. To escape extinction, humanity sought refuge upon their backs. But all things must pass, and not even Titans live forever. Today, we'll explore the next big adventure on the Nintendo Switch system. But first, the following trailer will give us a closer look at the game's characters than ever before. It will be presented with Japanese audio and English subtitles, as we're excited to announce that this voiceover option will be available in the game, thanks to free DLC available to download on launch day. Enjoy.
No. 女の子。
あなたは死んだ。真に胸を差し貫かれて、私の命を半分あげます。そうすればあなたは生き返る。レックス、お願いがあります。私を楽園に連れて行って。
俺、命を分けてもらったホムラの願いを叶えてやりたい。
楽園って、あんた本気でそんなヨタ話信じてんの？
まあそう言わずに、お嬢様。
トラ、兄貴のお友達になるもん。迷惑はかけられ慣れてますもん。
ガキのくせに一丁前にしようってからに。
持ちつ持たれつ言うてな。一個貸しにしといたるわ。
俺さ、この命をくれたホムラのために二度と死なないって決めたんだ。だから絶対に死なない。そして必ず楽園に行ってみせる。
空を裂き大地を割るその力、二度と世界を焼かせるわけにはいかない。
レックス、お前は天の聖杯のドライバー。戦は常にお前について回り、決して離れないだろう。
ホムラを戦争の道具にするつもりだろ。誰がそんなことさせるもんか。
彼ならばこの朽ちていく世界を救える。
天の聖杯、無関係でいられると思うな。めんどくせえから終わりにするぞ、義経。
楽園に行く？聞き捨てなりませんね。
俺たちには俺たちの目的がある。そのためには邪魔なお前たちを消去する。
お前ら、なんでホムラを欲しがるんだ。
天の聖杯の力が欲しいからですよ。
逃げて、レックス。ここにいちゃダメ。私たちに構うな。
無理言うな。見捨てるなんてできるわけないだろ。
ボンならその薬を断ち切れるかもしれない。それを助けてやるのが俺の務める注文。解き放とう、そのくびきから。
これはホムラ。
私は光。
Blades, such as Pyra, are artificial life forms that bond with drivers like Rex to lend them their weapons and powers in battle. This bond forms when a driver touches a core crystal and resonates with the blade born from within. A single driver can resonate with many blades, some of which are particularly powerful rare blades with varied designs, weapons, and abilities. It's nearly impossible to say which blade will appear, so if you plan on questing through Alrest, seek out as many core crystals as you can find, bond with the blades you conjure to life, and before long, your team will grow in strength and number. Blades are just one form of life you will encounter in this vast world of titans. Across verdant plains, winding caverns, frozen kingdoms, scorched earth, and scenic beaches, you'll find areas teeming with wildlife. Depending on the time and weather, you may find peaceful grazers minding their own business, or vicious predators who attack on sight. But even the most placid may lash out if you engage them or their young. Their behaviors run the gamut. Some travel in herds, some have bizarre rituals, and some will show up to a fight uninvited, or call for help when threatened. Be on your guard. One moment you may think you're safe, and the next, you could face a dangerous creature far beyond your current level. Alrest is home to many especially strong monsters carrying precious items. If you manage to best one, a tombstone will be left commemorating the creature. If you visit their graves, you can face them again, so they remember who put them there. But be warned, monsters aren't your only enemies. Many desire to claim the Aegis, so stay vigilant and fight strategically.
In Battle and Beyond, blades have a wide array of support abilities. While you're out adventuring, they may increase the number of items you collect, open up new paths to explore, or initiate other special effects. When you fight alongside a blade, they may use blade arts to protect their driver, strengthen their attacks, and so forth. In addition, elemental type, weapon type, and support abilities differ from blade to blade. There are 3 ways to strengthen them. Aux cores are blade accessories that enhance abilities, while core chips alter a weapon by raising its stats and changing its appearance. Each blade also has an affinity chart. As a blade and driver spend time together, the trust they share will grow, unlocking additional layers of the chart and stronger abilities. Furthermore, if you visit certain special locations, you can trigger heart-to-hearts that greatly boost their trust. It's a great way to see your companion in a different light. As you continue to resonate and acquire many blades, you may end up with some that you simply cannot find a use for in battle. By teaming these blades into mercenary groups, you can dispatch them for missions. After some time, the team will return with experience points, rewards, and more trust than ever.
The Cloud Sea ebbs and flows, changing which areas and which of the Titan's many secrets are accessible at a given time. These shining spots are collection points, where you can pick up valuable items for use in questing, unlocking certain blade abilities, or powering auxiliary cores. Brave salvagers may also dive under the Cloud Sea at salvage points. There's treasure below, but sometimes you may pull up more than you bargained for. While exploring these huge environments, you may fear getting lost. Luckily, Titans are full of special landmarks, and after discovering them, you can easily return at any time. Some landmarks can be difficult to reach. These secret areas have truly stunning views, whether you reach them during the day or at night. Somehow, you can set the time by turning the clock's hands. You can also expand your view a bit by removing the map from the screen. Throughout your journey, you will find bustling cities in each region of Alrest. From shopping districts to residential quarters, each city has its own distinct layout and atmosphere. And each one also has a trading post where you can bundle the items you've found into special sets and trade them for gold or other items. Some of the townspeople you meet may need help. If you oblige, you can count on a reward. But surely that isn't your main motivation, right? This is the Argentum Trade Guild, a large cloud seafaring vessel devoted to commerce. Tora certainly looks excited about it. Here, merchants offer everything from musical instruments to toys to books and more. It's a great place to shop. If you place acquired items in one of your party members' pouches, you can greatly enhance combat stats, such as strength, speed, and damage reduction for a limited time. Some areas, like the Argentum Trade Guild, have an accessory shop where you can buy items that boost stats while worn. This is just one of the many ways to customize your allies. Apparently, you can customize a very special blade by playing a game called Tiger Tiger. Just slip by these enemies and collect as much treasure as you can. Then use this treasure to enhance Tora's high-tech masterpiece, the artificial blade named Poppy. You can upgrade her abilities and even change her elemental type. Electric Poppy looks shockingly great, but Ice Poppy looks really cool too. This type of customization is exclusive to Poppy. She's truly one of a kind.
In battle, your party includes up to 3 drivers who each have 3 blades to switch between. However, as you saw earlier, Rex's blade, Pyra, does have another form named Mithra, who he can swap in at any time. So he can basically have up to 4 blades. Warm up with auto attacks to charge up your powerful driver arts. If you switch to a different blade, you can use one after another. And if you completely fill your gauge, you can charge up a special that is even more powerful than driver arts. By continuing to charge up your special, you can reach greater levels, each one stronger than the last. The highest level is 4, and it's so spectacular that even your enemies will stop to watch. Allies will wait for your command before using their own specials, so don't forget to give the order. If you want to win a fight, you better bring the right blades for the job. There are 3 types: attackers, tanks, and healers. The combination you bring to battle determines a driver's class, which affects the bonuses earned. So keep that in mind when building your party. Each weapon class has 4 driver arts, and you'll choose 3 of them. So, 3 blades with 3 arts each. That's 9 arts per driver. They're intensely satisfying to use. So you may want to remove the names of arts and blades from the UI and soak in the action. As you win battles, you'll learn experience points, teach your drivers new skills, and raise the levels of their arts. There are 3 types of combos to master. The first are driver combos, which you perform by chaining arts together. Break an enemy's defenses, topple them to the ground, launch them in the air, and then smash them back down. During these maneuvers, the enemy will be unable to attack or defend, so skillfully combine your arts and beat them senseless. The next type, blade combos, chain together specials. If you can follow one up with another that matches one of the specified elements, the damage dealt will increase, and you can protect yourself by sealing an enemy's ability to cause certain effects. You can also use your ally specials to keep the combo going. If you reach the end of the combo, an elemental orb will circle the enemy. This orb plays into one masterful technique, so remember it well. The last type is called a fusion combo. Simply begin a blade combo while a driver combo is in effect. The result is immensely satisfying.
Awesome! Launch Mega Explosion!
Finally, remember that masterful technique? Well, as the fight rages on, the party gauge in the top left will gradually fill. It's normally used to revive fallen allies, but once it's full, You can use it to initiate a chain attack. The blades that Rex and his allies have on them will take turns unleashing their specials. This chain would normally break after 3 turns, but if you succeed at bursting elemental orbs, you can rack up even more. Pull that off, and your status as a legendary driver will be cemented in history.
We've barely scratched the surface of Alrest's Titans in this Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Direct, and we hope you're really feeling it. However, we still have more to reveal. We're pleased to announce that an expansion pass will be available to purchase and will extend your adventures in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. With this pass, you'll gain access to the downloadable content listed on screen, which will roll out between launch and the fall of 2018. Fans and owners of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game should also take note. On November 9th, we'll distribute a new side quest in which you can obtain a Rex costume, so Link can salvage Hyrule Alrest style. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the next big adventure on Nintendo Switch, launching December 1st. That same day, you can also look forward to the release of the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Edition Nintendo Switch Pro controller, as well as the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Special Edition. This special edition packs in a beautifully illustrated 220-page hardbound art book containing concept designs and artwork of the game's characters, landscapes, and objects, plus a sound selection CD featuring its memorable music tracks, and of course, the game itself in a special metal game case. If you'd prefer to play the digital version so that the adventure is always with you on Nintendo Switch, you can pre-order the game from Nintendo eShop soon after this presentation. If you do, you'll be among the first to play as soon as the game is available on December 1st. Thanks for watching, everyone. The world of Alrest awaits.
Alright, well, that was awesome. That was great. There was so much in there. It's always so hard to come back right after one of those directs and know, like, what to even talk about, because there's just so much going on. I'm going to bring it back up here in the corner. Get to the beginning. There we go. Yes, so that was good. There was a lot. I'm gonna work my way backwards because I won't remember everything, but I'll remember it as I see it. So one of the cool things right there at the end, I like the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC costume. That is awesome. And that's cool. That's, I guess, like, they're not just adding that to the game, they're adding like a side quest to get that. So that's some cool extra just random content for Zelda that we're getting for Xenoblade. That's awesome. They can keep doing that. Heard a little bit about DLC. Looks like they're going to add, it sounds kind of similar to Zelda, essentially a new story quest later on, which is fine. As long as they're not taking anything out of the game, I'm okay with DLC. Yes, we saw a new form for Pyra. Story-wise, we got a little bit of information. It looks like early on in the game, Rex gets killed, and essentially Pyra shares half of her life with him, and then they're bonded together. It's essentially Dragonheart. It seems to be Dragonheart is the plot of this game. Disturbed by the lack of Isabelle. Yes, yeah, it's always disturbing to see that Isabelle is not in the game, contrary to popular belief. No Isabelle. There is I liked, what's the Napon's name? I don't know. But his Robo-Blade, I thought was cool. I liked the little mini game. That looks awesome. Let's see. What else was there? So yeah, this is what I was talking about here, where essentially Rex dies and Pyra has to, like, share her green magic with him to bring him back to life. We also saw Pyra's alternate form, which is Mithra, or Mithra. I don't remember. It's one of those. Yeah, so we saw her alternate form, which looks cool. We had seen that form in previous trailers, but didn't know that that's what it was. So that's cool. I like it. This direct was actually shorter than I expected to be, which is okay. Because one of the problems when they did like all the Xenoblade Chronicles X, they did a ton of Xenoblade Chronicles X stuff. You ventured into some spoiler territory. This, I thought, did a good job of giving us a lot more information without being too spoiler. We also saw a bunch more characters in this trailer. New characters we haven't seen before, new blades we haven't seen before. Excuse me. But yeah, so they did a good job. Didn't spoil anything, but I do know a lot more now, which I like. And boy, there are a lot of weird and different looking characters, but that is awesome. I really like the robot blade. That is cool. Wasn't Van Damme the name of the like commander in Xenoblade Chronicles X, the guy that looked like Duke Nukem? Wasn't that guy's name Van Damme? Also, his little like chest battery, like his equivalent of Pyra's thing, like the green thing, is the Xenoblade Chronicles. It actually looks like the Xenoblade Chronicles X logo, but it's an X. And yes, this guy also looks like a character from Xenoblade Chronicles X. He looks like that really annoying dude with the glasses who's very competitive but not very good at his job. Yes, short but packed full of content. Yes. So yeah, they started off with that trailer. Now, we had heard there have been a bunch of comments made by Nintendo earlier when people asked about the dual audio option, and Nintendo was like, we can't say anything, but maybe you should watch the Direct. So, like, we kind of knew that was coming, but still good if, I know some of you were talking about how you didn't like certain voice actors, and so if you would prefer the Japanese voice acting with subtitles, that's an option, which is always something I appreciate. I do like that it's DLC, so if you don't care about it, or it's not something you're interested in, it's not going to be taking up it's not going to be taking up space on your Switch, which I think is the right way to do that. There was Mithra. Yes. So that's cool. I liked the narrators in this, especially the male narrator sounded so excited about what he was talking about. It was great. Really, really enjoyed that particular aspect of the video. I feel like there are more people watching now than there were during the actual Direct, but that's okay. We saw a little bit more about core crystals. It looks so you can apparently just buy them and find them, and like as you can see, the variety of different blades you can get is awesome. Like that thing. There's just a lot of them, and they all look very, very different. They all look very unique. That was something I was worried about when they showed like that. You know, there's a bunch of these different things you can get. I did wonder how different they would be. Obviously, like a lot of the ones they're showing are like the rare ones, but they all look like their own characters, and that's cool. They talked about how you can essentially party up blades you're not using and send them off on missions to gain experience and items and things like that. Bringing back the affinity chart, so and chain attacks from the original Xenoblade, so you can essentially, as you fight, you'll build up your chain attack gauge, the same gauge you use to bring teammates back to life if they've died. If you manage to fill that up, then you can do a chain attack where everyone can do specials. It looks like it does work a little bit differently than the original Xenoblade, but you can still, there are ways to use specific moves to chain past like the initial 3 attacks and just kind of keep going for a long time. So that's awesome. Pulling off great epic chain attacks was one of the coolest part of the original Xenoblades. So that's cool. That bug thing is terrifying. Yeah. They're just, this whole like tombstone thing is kind of weird. Like that's something where like in the older Xenoblade games, if you defeated, these look like the what were they called in Xenoblade? Were they called? They weren't called Titans in Xenoblade Chronicles X, were they? Whatever like the super powerful versions of the random like animals and things would be, and you would defeat, and they would be like the named enemies. It looks like in this, the equivalent of that is you have these named enemies that when you kill, it leaves a tombstone. So they seem to stay dead, but you can also resurrect them and kill them again, just so they can live that torture for the rest of their lives. That sounds horrible. But you can do that if that's what you want to do, if that's how you like to live your life. Let's see. Got a bunch of buffs. We got, see, these are the blades we saw these blades early on, and I was like, if all the blades kind of just look like that, then that's not particularly interesting. So that's why I say, like, seeing so many different ones today that look very different was refreshing and reassuring. And so that's good. There's his robot buddy again, which I like. There's the affinity chart. Of course, that as you grow in affinity with different characters, you can upgrade different abilities, which is awesome. That tiger reminds me of White Blaze from Ronin Warriors. I don't know if anyone else ever watched that show, perhaps on Toonami. But if you did, sound off in the comments. Let's see. It's Xenoblade Cross, John. Please stop saying Xenoblade X. Ugh. Well, it's John with an H, so please stop saying John without an H. I'm going to say Xenoblade X because I'm American, and that's what we say. I'll just keep saying X. I'm going to call it X. In fact, I'm going to call it Xenoblade now. Xenoblade X. Because that's what we do here. But yes, so they talked about, one of the things that was cool, I think we're already past it now, but they showed a point where, like, the Cloud Sea was rising, and they were able to swim across it to get to, like, an unreachable area. I thought that was awesome, because that seems to be, like, kind of time of day and weather-based. So the idea that, like, the clouds can rise up and they're like water, so you can swim in it. It sounds really cool. They showed that you can, like, dive down beneath the clouds to get treasure. Sometimes you'll get enemies, which is always great. Ronin Warriors was my shit. Great. Thank you. Good. Someone else has seen it. Named my dog Sage of Halo. I always liked, this is a tangent, but in Ronin Warriors, whenever Sage would come out, and they all had, like, different, like, powers, and Sage would come out and he'd go, like, my power is wisdom, and it's like they had one recording of him saying wisdom, because it would always, like, it would completely just irrelevant of whatever the context was or inflection of what he was saying outside of that, it would always just be wisdom. And yeah, so that's my Ronin Warriors tangent. Let's see. So yeah, you have the Nippon trading barge thing. What else do we got? Every time I click, it says thanks for watching. Who thinks the architect is Shulk? Once again, without getting into spoiler stuff, that would kind of go against what Shulk ultimately decided at the end. I guess it could be, but I don't think Shulk maintained... It could be. It could be. I'm going to watch it a lot more, but I tend to feel like there probably isn't much of a relation. But yeah, it could be. We shall have to wait and see. Though I like that, like, this happening would essentially just wipe out everything that happens at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, nope, back onto the Titans. Everybody go. Yeah, we'll try to talk. I won't talk too much more about it because I don't want to spoil that for anybody. The tiger reminds me of two characters in particular. Digimon I'm gonna say X Ross Wars because I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say Cross Wars, but now I'm gonna say X Ross Wars, and the wolf from Monster Rancher. Wish they had said something about traversal beyond quick travel, vehicles, jumping like X, etc. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have seen. I mean, I guess there's the one girl who rides on the tiger. And then as far as jumping goes, I would like to know if there's fall damage. Because one of the greatest things that Xenoblade Chronicles X did was take out fall damage, because that made exploring fun. There is nothing more satisfying than climbing up to the highest point on the map and then just jumping off. Like, that is great. The original Xenoblade had fall damage. I'm hoping this one won't, because I really like not having fall damage. I think it adds so much fun just to the activity of exploration, and I would like them to continue that. But yes. yes, I don't expect like mechs or anything like we had in X, which is too bad, because that was one of the coolest things about X. That's why we need an X sequel. But yes, I would like some mechs. Does the normal Xenoblade series have the mechs too? The original Xenoblade had, I mean, there were technically some robots. You didn't use them, but they did show up. I mean, the enemy race, the Mechon, are mechs. And a lot of the enemies involve mechs of some sort. But you don't get mechs in the context that they are in Xenoblade Chronicles X, no. And I don't see anything here that would indicate that you would. This seems, you know, if you're going to get something, it seems like it would be an airship or something, which would be cool. But I don't see you getting mechs in this game. Though you do have that one, like, one of the Titans, the people that live on it, are very, like, technology-based. So who knows? It could happen. They're talking about chain attacks here. DLC, special edition. Yeah, that's all stuff we know. You can, if you're getting the digital copy, you can go ahead and preload it. And I think you can, like, buy the DLC right away, too. Now, I don't remember, oh, Jesse Estrada says, hey, John, hello, Jesse Estrada. The only Xenoblade game I've played is X. You should go back, if you, I mean, obviously you have a Wii U, or at least you had a Wii U at some point. If you have a Wii U, or you have a new 3DS, go back, play the original one. It's fantastic. You will not regret it. I think both Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think, are two of the greatest Japanese RPGs of the past 20 years, I'd say. Zelda Dlc was surprising. Yes. Yes, it is. And that doesn't seem to be tied to buying the DLC for Xenoblade. That is just a free thing that you get in Zelda. So that is awesome. Especially, like I said a little bit earlier, because it is a quest, which I think is really cool. And of course you have the Pro Controller, which I'm sure will still have the terrible D-pad that the current Switch Pro Controller has, that I really wish Nintendo would fix. Has anybody noticed that on the D-pad, that if you like rock back and forth to left and right, you'll constantly hit like the up button as well? It is an uncharacteristically bad Nintendo D-pad. Hopefully they fix it at some point in future Pro Controllers. But yes, so that was the Nintendo Direct, and it was pretty good. I liked it. Like I said, gave us a lot of information without spoiling anything, and I always appreciate that. So yes, I'm very excited. We've got just under a month to go. The game looks awesome. It looks beautiful, and I am very excited to waste a whole lot more time in Xenoblade. I played the one with, I'm going to assume that's supposed to be Shulk, for maybe 45 minutes and never got into it. We'll play it again, but this time for 80 hours. But yeah, I think that's about it from me. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Nintendo World Report TV. Check out NintendoWorldReport.com for a lot more if you like what we do here. If you want to support the channel and the site, you can check us out at patreon.com/NWR. But yes, thank you guys very much for watching. I enjoyed watching this with you. I didn't enjoy getting up early, but I enjoyed watching it. It didn't convince you to get it. Well, get it anyway. No, this is one of those games, and I'll say this, I'm not a big Japanese RPG fan, but I love these games, so it's worth trying, even if it's not generally the type of game you'd get into, I think. That's my opinion. But yes, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys probably in like a live stream on Saturday or something. I don't know when the next one will be, but yeah, see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day with new knowledge of Xenoblade. That was well formulated wordage. All right, you guys have a great day.